Welcome back. It's day 3 of the RenewMe Spring Reset, Open. Spring is the perfect time to open up to new and fresh energy. And today's atypical backbending class will help you do just that. Keep an open mind and be curious, as this class is really inviting and will be an awesome addition to your yoga practice. All you need is yourself and your yoga mat. So come on, let's get started. Okay, welcome to class. We're going to start on our backs. So come to a lying down position and keep your knees bent as you lie down on your back. So your feet are flat on the ground. We're going to be tapping the back of the pelvis on the yoga mat. So you can take your hands up by your head for now and lift your hips up just an inch or two and then let them drop. And we're going to do this a few times. Let the hips drop so you're not controlling the down. You're lifting and dropping. You want to feel your glutes shake, your hamstrings shake, the thighs shake. And then we're going to start to pick up the pace. Tap, 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 tap. So we're stimulating the very base of the spine, your first energy center of the body. We call these chakras in yoga, but they are centers of energy. And as we move into opening, we need to have the whole spine open. And that starts from the very base of the tailbone and the sacral area. So we're just stimulating this area because we're gonna need it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and release the hips down. Now from here, on your inhale, keep your tailbone on the mat and arch the back. So you want to imagine there could be a space between the mid-thoracic spine and the yoga mat. And then as you exhale, press down into the mid-thoracic spine and curl your tailbone up. We'll do that again. Tailbone down, inhale, lift the mid-back. Mid-back down, exhale, lift the tailbone. Inhale, tailbone down, mid-back up. Exhale, mid-back down, tailbone up. And again, tailbone down, mid-back up. Exhale, mid-back down. Tailbone up and keep lifting. Take an inhale, lift your hips, lift the mid-back, lift the chest. And as you exhale, lower from upper back to mid-back to low back. Inhale, keep the tailbone down, lift the mid-back. Exhale, press the mid-back down, lift the hips. Inhale, lift the mid-back, lift the upper back. And exhale, lower from upper back to mid to lower. We'll do this one more time. So tailbone stays down. Inhale, mid-back lifts. And then exhale, press the mid-back down to lift the hips up. Inhale, lift the mid-back. Lift the upper back. And exhale, lower. Upper to mid to lower. Okay, nice work, everybody. Pull your knees into your chest. Rock forward and backward along your spine. You can do this a few times. So you're moving back and forth, massaging the whole back body, the erector muscles of your spine. I love starting out my practice this way. Good. And then we'll come up to a seated position. So easy pose with your legs crossed at the top of your yoga mat. Rest your hands on your knees. And from here, inhale, cat-cow in a seated position. So the heart and the chest arches forward. And as you exhale, contract the belly around the spine. Do this again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now come to neutral. We're going to do the same thing but add just a little bit. The motion this time will start from the tailbone as opposed to the heart and the chest space. So imagine that you were a piece of seaweed in the ocean and that you were just kind of rolling with the waves at the bottom of the ocean. Again, the movement starts here in the tailbone. So I'm going to tilt my pelvis so the base of my pelvis points back. And as that tilt happens, my chest and heart follows. And then I tilt my pelvis in the opposite direction and I round into my spine. So pelvis tilts forward and pelvis tilts back. Again, forward and back, forward and back. So keep moving, just do a few more rounds on your own. You want to find a movement throughout every single vertebra in your spine. This includes the back of the neck into those cervical vertebrae. Good. We'll do one more time, coming back to center as you finish. We're just gonna shake it out. All right, from here, let's come into downward facing dog. So it's our first down dog of practice. Just go ahead and take a minute to arrive here. You can bend your knees, pedal out your feet, wiggle your hips. And from here, lift high up onto your toes and like a wave, roll, rounding from the mid-back to the upper back. Bend your knees and press it back to dog. We'll do this again and again. Lift high onto the tiptoes. Roll into plank. And bend the knees. So you want to move with your breath. And again, we want to find a fluid motion with the movement. So graceful, effortless, easy movements here. So we're opening the whole spine. We're opening into the shoulders, as well as the hamstrings and the back body. Good. Coming forward into plank, lower all the way down to your belly. And then take your hands out, tenting up onto the fingertips. We'll look up and over the right shoulder as you inhale. And then come back down. Look over the left shoulder, inhale. And coming down. And then inhale, come to center and hold here. Good. So breathe here in this position, lighten the weight in your hands and lift those hands up off of the mat. Good. And then place the hands down and lift the feet up. Engaging the whole back body here. Good, exhale to release. Now take the arms out in front of you and turn your palms to face up like you are holding something. So they're open and receptive. Bring your forehead to the mat and leave it there. Your head will not lift the entire time. The only thing that's going to move in this exercise is your arms. Okay, so head down, push the tops of the feet down into the yoga mat. Pull the belly and the navel up so that there's actually a space between your belly button and your yoga mat. Now take a big breath. And as you exhale, just lift your arms. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale for 3. Inhale, lower. For 4. Last time, lower. For 5. Hold here. Suction your belly button away from the yoga mat. Lift your arms up as high as you can. And release. Okay, press your way back into child's pose. So that's a really nice pose to do because we're opening the shoulders, which helps to get into the upper back. As you push back to child's pose, spread your knees wide. Bring your palms together and slide the pinky finger side of your hand forward. Rest your elbows to the mat from here. Bend those elbows and bring them behind your head. You'll feel a stretch in the bicep. Bicep and tricep. Good. If you're not activating by pushing the elbows down, you're not going to feel the bicep at all. You'll only feel the tricep. We want to feel both parts of the arm. All right, slowly release that. Let's come back into our down dog. And from here, lift your right leg up and back behind you, keeping your hips square. Bend your right knee. With your hips square, lift your right knee up like you could push your heel up to the ceiling. So you're going to feel this in your left leg, your left hamstring. Don't open your hips. We're keeping them neutral. Lift that right leg higher and higher and higher. Now, when you can't go any higher, look forward. You're looking past your hands, wrapping your triceps in, and start to lift the back of your head towards your foot and move your foot down towards your head. A little scorpion down dog. You could pop the left heel off the mat, take an in-breath. And as you exhale, swing that left foot all the way forward and come into a low lunge, keeping the back toes tucked. So as you find this low lunge, bring your hands to your pelvis or the back of the pelvis. Breathe in, tilting the pelvis, so almost opening the heart and the chest. And then as you exhale, contract the low belly. Good, do it again. Inhale, open heart and chest. Squeeze the elbows together. Exhale, contract the low belly. Squeeze your inner thighs. Do it once more. Inhale. And exhale. Good, remain here. Lift your arms up, chest up, palms touch. And then bend those elbows once more, bring them behind the head. Pull the elbows in and up, shift your gaze up. And release it. Hands to the mat. Step back to plank. This time lower through chaturanga. Come into upward facing dog on the in-breath. From up dog, drop your knees down to the mat. Roll over your right leg. So the left knee bends. Roll over your right leg. Lift your hips up really high. Big, huge stretch. Reach that left arm overhead. And then exhale, come back to center. Lower chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Drop the knees and bend your right leg. Roll over the left leg here. Lift your hips up really high. Big stretch. And release. Hands down, come to plank, take an in-breath. Push to dog as you exhale. Okay, we're gonna try the second side. So lift that left leg up, keeping your hips square, bend the left knee, and then press your left heel up towards the ceiling, again, without opening your hips. You'll feel now the right leg, the whole back of that right leg, getting really nice, good stretch here, activated. And then when you can't lift any higher, look forward, past your hands. Triceps firm in, and start to lift the back of your head up. Now imagine the left toes and the back of the head touching. You could lift up onto your right tiptoes here. Good. And then release. Swing that left foot all the way forward, keeping the right toes tucked. We'll come on up into low lunge, hands at the hips. So on the inhale, we open the heart, tilting the pelvis. And as the exhale happens, you draw your navel in, squeeze your inner thighs together. Bring the pelvis to neutral. Again, inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Good, remain in this active position in low lunge. Reach your arms up, palms touch. Bend those elbows and bring the hands behind your head. And then from here, lift the head up. Find that heart opening here, drawing your elbows in a little closer. Breathe for 3, for 2, on 1, gently release. So hands come down, step back. You can take an optional vinyasa or push right back into your downward facing dog. Nice work. From down dog, step your feet wider than your hips and just come back to reset in a yogi squat in Malasana. Okay, so breathe here for a couple of breaths. Chest lifted. Good. This is a really good way to reset the spine, the hips, and the pelvis. And then let's go ahead and walk it back out to down dog. We're gonna move into a flow here, a B series flow. So from down dog, lift your right leg, inhale. Step the foot forward, exhale. Now this time we come into a high lunge. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, bend the front knee a little deeper. And then inhale, lift your heart, lift your chest. Exhale, release. Hands come to the mat. We step back to plank and lower chaturanga. Come to upward facing dog. Bend the left knee and roll over the right leg. Inhale, lift up high. Exhale, come back around, plank position, and press to down dog. Lift the left leg, inhale. Exhale, step it forward. Come up to high lunge, big breath. Bend the elbows, bring that prayer behind the head. Sink lower. Inhale, back bend, lift the heart and chest. Exhale, release. Hands down, step back to plank and lower chaturanga. Up dog on the in-breath. Drop the knees, bend the right knee and roll over the left leg. Big breath. Exhale, come back around to plank and press it back to dog. Let's do that again. Right leg on the in-breath. Exhale, step it forward. High lunge, inhale. Exhale, prayer with the elbows. Sink low in the lunge. Inhale, lift the chest up. Exhale, release it, hands down. Step back and lower chaturanga. Up dog on the in-breath. Roll over the right leg as you exhale. Inhale, lift up high. And exhale, back to plank. Inhale, dog. Exhale, release. Left leg on the in-breath. Step it forward, exhale. Inhale, high lunge. Prayer pose, drop it a little lower. Now lift the heart and chest. Big in-breath. Exhale, release it. Hands down, lower chaturanga. Up dog on the in-breath. Roll over that left leg. Big inhale, lift up. And exhale, back to plank. Downward facing dog. All right, hold here in down dog. Slow down your breath. Come back forward into plank position and lower to your bellies. All right, here we go. This is all gonna make sense in just a few moments. So reach your arms out in front of you, hands in prayer position, forehead comes to the mat, okay? We're gonna be working with dancer pose on our bellies. So a lot of times in yoga, when we say opening, we grab one body part and we pull it to another. We're not gonna do that today. We're gonna try to move one body part to another without grabbing and pulling, without that external leverage. So we'll see how this goes. We'll do it in 2 different variations, one on the belly, one standing. All right, palms touch, forehead down, take an in-breath. Exhale, press the pelvis into the mat, pull your belly in and up. Now start to lift your right leg up and back behind you, bend into the knee. Kick the right heel up as high as you can, take an in-breath. And as you exhale, lift your arms up, bend that prayer position behind your head. So start to lift the head towards the foot to the head, pull the hands back behind you. Imagine them touching. Left leg is strong. Push it down into the mat for 3, for 2, and 1. Release. Good. Shake out your hips. We got a second side to do, so bear with me. Okay? This time the right leg stays down. Take an in-breath. Exhale, pull the belly in and up as you press the pelvis to the mat and lift your left leg. Now bend that left knee and press the left hip down. Notice I'm not peeling my left hip off the mat. My hips are down. Now bend the prayer position, lift up with the head, the chest, the arms. Imagine left foot touching hands. Breathe for 3. Press that right foot down for 2. Last big breath. And 1. Nice work. Push it back to child's pose. This time, knees together, traditional child's pose. Ooh, hips to heels. Should feel really good. Make fists with your hands. Gently tap up and down the back. A few times with those fists. All right. Nice work, you guys. Good. Come back into your down dog, toes tucked. And from here, walk your feet all the way up really slowly. So inch by inch, we come all the way up. To the top of the mat. All right, once we get there, just grab opposite elbow, hang heavy. You can shake out your head. And then we'll just gently roll all the way up to standing. So arms can hang, bend your knees a little, and come on up. All right, so you should be feeling pretty darn open by now. We're gonna move into a standing version of dancer pose. Again, without grabbing and pulling. So this is a lot harder than using external leverage. This is using your own back body strength. This is why we've been doing all this back body activation in our practice today. Okay, so we'll start with the right leg. So at the top of the mat, just bend into the right knee. And as you bend the right knee, we're going to imagine the right heel could touch the butt cheek here. Okay, bring your left hand to your low belly and just pull the low belly in and up. Remember that suctioning away from the mat when we were lying on the belly. We want that same sensation here. Take your hands in prayer position, reach those arms up, and bend your elbows. Okay. From here, I want you to start to activate that right leg, lifting, squeezing the glute. Lift the heel up without opening your hip. And then start to reach your fingertips down towards your toes. Reach the toes up towards your fingertips. Breathe for 5. And 4. 3, 2, And 1, gently release. You're spring loaded, so be careful. Shake it out. We'll do our second side. This is very different than doing dancer pose by grabbing, right? It feels different in the body, it's harder, it's more challenging. So don't be hard on yourself if you can't touch your toes to your head. I've never done it, so I get close sometimes if I really practice. And that's why I love sharing this, because it's such a journey. It's a really empowering practice and just really shows you how open you can get if you try, if you build on it. Okay, let's try the second side. So bend that left knee, right? The heel is pulling to the butt cheek, right? Knees close together so I'm not opening my hip. I'm keeping them neutral. And then that suctioning of the belly button, like it was pulling away from the floor when we were lying on the floor. Hands come to prayer. Bend the elbows and lift the chin up off the chest. Good, now slowly start to reach the left toes up. Reach the fingertips down. Lift your heart and chest up. Breathe and hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. All right, shake it out. Okay, we're gonna do what's called empty coat sleeves. We just kind of rock back and forth here. This is a nice thing to do to stimulate lymph, movement of the lymph in the body. You just let your hands hit the lymph nodes as you move side to side. It's also really good for the back. A little gentle twist after that full dancer pose. All right. Good. Nice work, you guys. Take your feet wide again. We're going to come into that reset squat, that malasana. So lower down, bend the knees, hang out here for a breath or 2. Should feel really, really good. And then bring those hands behind you. All right, fingertips point forward. So reverse tabletop here. Push into your feet, lift your hips, push into your hands, lift your heart. Breathe. So this opens the front of the shoulder head. This should feel really good in your body. All right. And then release. Roll your hips over to one side. Come back into that tabletop position, and from here, just go ahead and find bird dog. Extend the left leg back behind you and the right arm forward. This is a really good way to reset after back bending as well. So just breathe here, pull the navel in and up, get long and spacious. And then place your right hand down and slowly stack your left hip on top of the right hip. Now, if you need to, you can place the foot down. If you can keep the leg hovering, go for it. We come into a really modified side plank. So engage your core. Take any pressure out of your back body here by engaging the front body. You might even just swing that left leg forward slightly in order to help you further engage the belly. Good. Keep the leg lifted, hand down. Cross that left knee behind the right knee so your feet open up really wide, and we're going to sit all the way down in between the feet in cow face pose. If this position isn't available for your body, come into easy pose or crisscross applesauce. Okay? Otherwise, we're here. We're working on releasing all the work we did in the glutes and the outer hip here to get into that dancer pose. So you can just breathe in this position. Close your eyes. Slow your breath down. Stay there as long as you want. If you want more time, just pause the video, come and join us when you're ready. Okay, otherwise, we'll come back into our tabletop position. Okay, just shake your hips a little bit side to side, and we'll find our second side of bird dog, taking the right leg behind us and the left arm forward. So just breathe here. Feel that extension. Draw the low belly in so the low back is supported. And then release the left hand down and stack your right hip on top of the left. If it's too much, you can release the right foot to the floor. Okay, otherwise, leg is lifted, right arm lifted. And you might even just swing your right leg forward an inch or two so that you're engaging the front body in order to relax the back body. All right, from here, the right hand comes down and the right knee crosses behind the left knee. Spread those feet really wide and sit your hips in between your feet. This feels so good. We're getting into the outer hips, the glutes, all that delicious opening in the hips now. So you can close your eyes, breathe here. Sometimes I give myself a little foot massage in this position, or you can even slide your fingers in between your toes and just kind of hold on tight. If that's too much for you, don't do it. Close your eyes and breathe. Okay, nice job. Slowly release, come onto your back just as we started, all the way down onto the mat. And once you get down onto the mat, take the left leg straight in front of you and the right leg up to the ceiling. Grab either the back of the thigh or the back of the calf on that right leg. Just make sure the knee isn't bent. If it's bending, you want to grab the thigh so you can extend. Okay, whatever version you're in, I want you to now, just like we started class, push the tailbone down and lift the mid-back space up, away from the yoga mat. So you'll feel an intensity in your right hamstring, maybe even the right calf muscle, wherever you're tighter. Just breathe here. So we're giving the back body a little release after all that activation. Good. All right, bend the right knee and switch sides. So right leg extends to the mat. We take the left leg up to the ceiling and either grab the back of the thigh or the back of the calf. From here, your mid-back lifts up and away from the yoga mat, and we gently pull the leg in towards us, allowing the whole posterior chain to release from all of that work it just did. Breathe. Allow it to open up. Okay, we opened the front body, we also got to open the back body. Very important. All right, slowly release. Bend the knees, bring both legs down to the mat, and then tap your feet in and out a few times. In and out. Good. And then slowly let your body release, coming into final resting pose, Shavasana. Big inhale, fill all the way up. And exhale to release. Okay, y'all, that's a wrap on day 3 of the RenewMe Reset Spring Edition. I hope that you're feeling energized and open. In general, day 3 can be a little challenging due to the lack of the usual creatures of comfort, so go easy on yourself. And let us know how you're doing by commenting on our community page. I'll see you right back here tomorrow for day 4.